Star, thank you so much for coming today. And it's always so nice to have you. And thank you for coming all the way. Yeah, thank you. So today's topic is Discover the Beyond, Exploring the Afterlife. Especially, I'll tell you what I'm going to be talking about. Key topics include, this is what I picked because of that lady who asked me, understand the transition from life to the afterlife. So what happens at that moment you die or somebody dies, and explore the potential for reconnecting with departed family. So can you reconnect with your family member who died is the question. And then number 3 is reflect how grief impacts the journey of the deceased soul. Everyone feels really, really sad when your family member dies, right? And it's going to last for a while. But how will that actually affect the deceased soul and so on? I know you have to go through that too. Yeah, when your dad died, right? Everyone does. Yeah, it's natural. Everyone does. So this is the topic that I'm going to be talking about today, right? So I'm going to start from this: body and soul. We are all human beings. We're in the physical flesh, right? But is this the essence of human being? Are we just a physical being? No, right? We all study the truth. So we all know that we are actually soul inside. That inside our physical body is a soul, spirit. That's our true self. And I hope you're all with me on this. All right. So it's sort of like this. Mascot, right? You wouldn't say that character mascot is yourself, right? You yourself, it's inside the mascot. So that's your true self, not the, like Disney character, Mickey or Minnie. So this is the truth. And then I always talk about this. You already know, you've seen this picture all the time. The universe we live in, where we are, is a multi-dimensional universe. So there are many different dimensions. The physical world where we live, what part is that? Earth. Yeah, it's Earth. That's right. Which dimension would that be where we are, is my question. Like physical being. One of them is the physical dimension, and then other than that is all spiritual. In fact, third dimension right in the middle is where we are in physical body. But from fourth dimension and above, that is actually spiritual world. So you can tell that even the physical world is part of the fourth dimension, part of the fifth and sixth and seventh and eighth, ninth. So we live in a physical world with those are materials and physical things, but actually we're part. You can see we're part of the spiritual world and so on. Yeah, does that make sense to you? Yeah. So that's why we can kind of know what you're thinking about. Like I know if you don't like me or you like me, right? You can kind of feel, right? That the feeling that you get. That's because we're also a spiritual being, and that's our true essence. And so I always show that because we're like, it's like an onion. It has many layers. That's the true world that we live in. Yeah. So this is something we all ought to know. So this is something I always talk about. You already know that. So we are on study abroad program, but this is not abroad. So study on earth, like you said, study on earth program we are. Yeah. So we're all studying here. We came from the spiritual world. And we are here for how many years? 80 to 100 years, maybe. And then when this is done, we go back to where we came from. That is a spiritual world. So we go back to the spiritual world. So here is what I wanted to, the point that I want to show you is that life is eternal. It doesn't end after you go back to the spiritual world, after you die, after you pass away. Your life doesn't stop there. It keeps on going. Life is eternal. All right. So this is what you want to know about, right? What happens after this life? Yeah. What happens after this life? So here I'm going to show you Master's lecture clip from this one was given back in 1992, long time ago, in a place called Sendai. Does anyone know? Has anyone heard about that name? Except for those Japanese people from Japan. Sendai is north of Tokyo, okay? And that place is a little bit famous today all over the world because Master sits, Master is actually all over. Yeah, but Sendai is the place where tsunami hit.
Oh,
yeah, yeah, that's the place, earthquake. And this lecture is titled Heaven and Hell. And Master talks about what happens when people die. He gives all the details of how the moment the person dies and what happens afterwards. And toward the end of the lecture, he said this was back in 1992. He said this place is going to have a huge natural disaster. And I'll tell you what it is. It is a huge tsunami and also big earthquake. You can't avoid it. So that was his intention to talk about what happens after people die. So he already knew. And that happened back in 2011, but that means it was 18 years ago, or 18 or 19 years ago, when he talked about this. So he can see what's going to happen in the future. Sometimes he says it too early, but it really depends on how much truth is actually spread all over, or how much the light is there. So it took 18 years after Master mentioned. So that I thought was interesting to mention actually. Anyway, so this is a 4 minutes and 30 seconds video, but this one doesn't come with the subtitle, so you just have to listen to it. And he talks about what happens at the moment that people die. Right after that, what they have to go through.
Usually, people do not easily recognize their own death, though some swiftly leave their bodies the same day they die. For a while, you remain inside your body, feeling as if you were still ill as before. When you hear people around you say that you are dead, you may think, that's odd, I'm still alive. Now and then someone shines a light into your eyes, and then you say, it's too bright. But someone says, there is no response. The pupils are already dilated. The heart stopped beating. But you still feel your heart beating. You may say to yourself, this doctor has misdiagnosed my condition. He said my brain waves had also stopped, but my brain is still working perfectly. In this way, you usually continue to believe that you are still alive. Your figure remains exactly the same as your physical body, so you really feel strange. Soon your death is announced, and members of your family begin crying. You may say to them, it's no use crying now. It's too late. But they don't seem to understand you. Then you think, strange, my body doesn't move. Later that day, many people come to have a wake and prepare for the funeral. If you have knowledge of life after death, you begin to think that you may have died, but are never 100% sure. If you have no knowledge of life after death, you still believe that you are alive. So you wonder if your family and the doctor have gone insane. You are struck by such a strange thought. And when a wake or the funeral begins, you see your own picture framed and displayed. And then you say, come on, please stop this nonsense. I don't want to die now. During this time, your soul repeatedly leaves and re-enters the body. Sometimes you float towards the ceiling or towards the roof, and looking down, you get scared and quickly return to your body. By the time the hearse comes to take you to the crematorium, you begin to leave your physical body, but you hate to be cremated. You think, if my body's burned, I'll no longer come back to life. And you say, please don't burn me. But your family's busy, and they want to cremate you quickly. All right, he's dead. Let's cremate him today. They may want you to die just before the weekend or a holiday. If you die on a weekday, they may say, let's finish everything today. But if the body is cremated too soon, the soul will want to return to the body, feeling even more attached to it. In this case, the soul tries to move the body in some way to let the family know that he is still alive. At times we hear the coffin rattling. This is evidence that the soul has come back to the body. A screaming voice can also be heard from inside the crematorium, saying, don't burn me. The person is already clinically dead, but he is not truly dead in a spiritual sense.
So what do you think? Yeah? Scary? Yeah? It's just that we leave this body, right? Our soul comes out of it. But the problem is we're going to go through that. Most people are not really aware of what's happening. So it's good to know. Yeah? Yeah? All right. So he talked about the moment of death, what happens, right? So here, like I said, usually people do not easily recognize their own death. They're not, yeah, they don't know because they never even learned about this. And they feel especially confused because their spiritual self still retains the form of their physical body. Guess what? Even if after you die, you still have your body. Okay? You can still see, you can still hear. So you're like next to your family member. The only difference is, what's that? You try to talk to your family member. Hey, mom. Hello. But they can't hear you, yeah, because you're a spirit. Yeah, you don't have a physical body. You don't have the voice like that anymore. So, between the spiritual beings, it's okay. They can communicate. But if it's a physical body and a spiritual, no, you can't communicate anymore. So what happened, Master said, at a wake or funeral service, if they have no knowledge of life after death, they still believe that they are alive and they suspect that everyone else has gone mad. What happened to you? Why are you not, like, you can't hear me? It's like, why are you not even answering? Not responding back to me? Yeah?
Does the master explain how he knows this from the other side?
He has a great, he's a great spiritual leader. And I did not explain today, like you already know that he has published more than 3,500 books.
Yes.
And then has a lot of wisdom, and then talks a lot about the spiritual thing, what happens. After reading all the 3,500 books, and also he has given more than 3,300 lectures, you already know he's not faking it. He has a great spiritual knowledge and an ability that he can see through. Like I said, he predicted that. So he knows exactly what happens, actually. Yeah, he can see, he knows everything about it. There are some people are like that, but Master Riho Okawa is like way up here compared to, you can see with all those wisdom that he has provided.
But so it's an individual thing as to how soon you might go to the crematorium for the individual in the past, no one wants to burn too soon.
Right.
So
Right.
should you say in your final papers, don't take me
Yeah,
for
you should probably. Yeah.
1 week, wait 1 week?
Yeah. So that's the reason why we have the wake service, right? Like
Yeah.
the funeral usually takes about like a week.
Okay.
But you have like a viewing, a wake service that you don't touch the body for the next like 24 hours to 48 hours. So that's the reason why, yeah. But I will explain to you what happens actually, right? So for a while, they remain in their own house, sometimes floating towards the ceiling or roof. But looking down, they get so scared that they quickly return to their body. So they're in and out of the body. So they float up there, but they get scared, so they come down. So they're like in and out, and then here, like they're like a floating here, there, near their bodies, actually. The true death does not occur when the physical body stops functioning. Okay, heart stops. The doctor tells you that tells that this person's dead, but that's not real death, actually. Does anyone know when the real death occurs? What's the definition of death? When? When does it occur? Happy science people already have the knowledge of that, but are you familiar with that? Like, yeah? It's at the time that your heart stops, that's not dead yet. Yeah. But it takes a little bit longer. Yeah. Are you familiar with the
soul departing?
Departing, right? Soul departing. So I'm going to ask you then, when does it happen? When does death happen? Okay. So anyone's familiar with this? Silver cord. Have you heard about silver cord? No. Okay, silver cord is something, let me show you here. It is a silver colored cord that attached, actually, it's a cord between the physical body and the spiritual body. It's attached to top of your head, physical body, and also your spiritual body inside. Yeah, there's a cord. So what does this cord do? Even if sometimes people have an out-of-body experience. I don't know if anyone has an out-of-body experience, like your soul gets out of your body, and sometimes people are up there and they can see themselves down there. In fact, actually, every one of you have this experience. When? How? Yeah, it's a dream, sleeping. Thank you. Yes, when we are sleeping, we have dreams at night, right? When we are sleeping. Not all the dreams are like that, but some of them, if you really remember vividly, or this kind of dream that you're flying in the sky, or maybe the situation changed one after another, like you were in this situation, that situation, one after another, this kind of movie is actually your soul is out of your body experiencing in the spiritual world. So we all get to experience the spiritual feelings and spiritual thing actually and we can actually come back into the physical body because we have the silver cord attached to our physical body. Yeah, does that make sense? All right. So I was asking, when is the real death? The real death occurs when the silver cord is cut off. Once it's cut off, you cannot come back into your physical body anymore. And when does it happen? Happy science students or members know, actually, 24 hours after your physical death. So after your heart stops, or after you stop breathing, or brain, you don't have any more brain waves anymore, and doctor says the person's dead, but it's actually not. It takes another 24 hours until the silver cord is cut off. Then that's real death. Okay? So what happens if you touch or do something within the first 24 hours of death, or death by this world, I guess? That person can feel it, right? So you don't want to take the body to the crematorium and then burn it, right? Then the person can feel. And not just that, huge problem today is the organ transplant. Organ transplant. That has to be done within 24 hours because organ has to be fresh. So that is a huge problem today because the soul or the dead person can feel it. It's like using the knife and cutting your tummy with a knife. So that soul has a very difficult time leaving this world or this life or this earth because of it. It's a great pain. That is what's happening today. Right? So silver cord is, as long as it's attached that we are alive, we can come back to our physical body. So what happens to the soul after death? So I want to put into 3 different groups. This is actually by Master's book. Like I said, it's based on this book, Heaven and Hell, that lecture that you just watched. So 3 groups is, number 1 is those who cannot begin their departure to the spirit world. Those souls cannot leave this world, okay? They're somehow stuck here. Number 2, people who fall straight to hell. There are some people who go straight to hell. Number 3, this is most of us. Most of people will meet a spirit guide. There will be a spirit guide who comes to you and will guide you to the spiritual world. So those 3 groups. So let's go one by one. What happens? Number 1, those who cannot begin their departure to the spiritual world. So why they can't? What happened? Who are those people who cannot leave here? What do you think? Who cannot leave here?
They don't want to believe in the spiritual world.
They do not believe in the spiritual world, T. Good job, T. Yes, atheists and agnostics. Those people who never even believed in God, or those people who didn't believe in the spiritual thing. They said, hey, show me the proof, then I'll believe it. Agnostics, right? So we call that, they become earthbound spirits. What's earthbound spirits? That is the stray spirit or lost spirits who are still here on earth. Yeah, they're attached to a particular building, a house, a piece of land, or your death. Hi, Haley. Thank you. Nice to see you. Anyway, so they become earthbound spirits, so they're like all over. What do? Since they believe they're still alive, they usually play their families with one incident after another. Yeah, they have you.
The ghosts, they become ghosts.
Ghosts, right, in an attempt to prove their existence. So they're not doing it on purpose to do harm to their family members. What kind of a plague? So one of the examples I'll give you, this, yeah, something like this, car accident or sickness, all kinds of misfortune. Sometimes the family has all kinds of misfortune one after another. You wonder, what's going on? There is a family member who's dead, who cannot leave this earth, and then this soul doesn't know what to do because he or she believes that there's no such thing as spiritual world, spiritual being. So she or he believes that still here. So try to asking for help, like, hey, mom, help me. Like, what's going on? It's like trying to talk to, and no one notices it, right? It's because it's spirit. So they want to prove that, hey, I'm here, help me. And they come to you, they probably cling to you, sometimes causes like a migraine, let's say, stiff shoulder, backache, it's like arthritis, and so on. I'm not saying all of them, but some of those things could be caused by a spirit who is coming to you or sticking to you. But they don't know what to do. They're stuck here on earth. So we're talking about those who cannot begin their departure to the spiritual world. So one becomes it's earthbound spirit. They are stuck here all over. So sometimes, like let's say one corner of the street or intersection, that prone to have accidents one after another. Right? You've seen those places, right? Why is this corner have accidents one after another? There are some spirits who died at this corner, let's say. It's still there. Doesn't know what to do. Like, help me. So keeps on having that and then, making that happen over there. That is the fact. And people don't know. That's why we're here to actually let people know the knowledge and wisdom. All right. So that's A. So still talking about those who cannot actually leave the earth. the spirit. I said atheists and agnostics. People never believe in the spiritual thing. And A was earthbound spirit. B, people who die in agonizing pain, that they had so much pain. What happens to them? They can't even think at all because their mental function has been totally paralyzed. If you die in like a severe pain, you can't even think about anything. It just goes on. And you never believe in the spiritual thing. You still think you're alive. You keep on doing the same thing over and over. And they're not aware of their death even after 10, 20, or 30 years. Can you imagine that? There's actually one of Master's readings. He did the spiritual reading to this lady, young lady, who came to see Master. It's got to be like a family friend, otherwise you cannot see or meet Master. But anyway, this lady, Master said, her father died in car accident, and he wasn't expected to die, right? And then he is in great pain, and he's still rolling over the ground and saying, "Hey, I'm bleeding. I'm injured. Help me, help me." And he is actually stuck with her daughter. His daughter. Yeah, and he's there. So Master said, "Oh my gosh, if she has a father like that, father spirit who's with her, in a way possessing her, like in great agony, she's not going to have a good future or good fortune. No, not at all. She's going to have a hard time." That's what Master said. It's one of his teachings, or one of the books Master talked about. Right? So they actually continue to suffer the same pain they had during their last hours, because they never knew, they never believed in a spiritual thing, so they don't know what to do. They keep on doing that. That is so sad, but this is the truth. This is happening. So A is the earthbound spirits. B is the people who are in agonizing pain. So what happens to the soul after death? I talked about the three groups, right? And then we talked about this one. We cannot actually leave this earth. Number two, people who fall straight to hell. There are some people who actually go straight to hell. You can imagine what kind of life they have when they're on earth, right? So the people, it's so sad. The people who are the evil, done the evil deeds and evil thoughts. So this is what happens to death. So those are the people who go straight to hell. And number three, most people will meet a spirit guide. Okay, this is what we're going to talk about now. Most people who will meet spirit guide. Who is a spirit guide? Okay. So here it is. In a week or so, a spirit guide will come to those people who just died. Okay, so who are the spirit guides? Someone who's most suited to communicate, usually a close friend or sibling or brother or sister who died already, or parents who's already dead long time ago. They'll come to guide you, and also your guardian spirit. So you have your own guardian angel. We call it guardian spirit. You have your own, I have my own. So they will come and help you, but usually at very first, it's either friends, sibling, parents who you are very familiar with, who you have a very strong spiritual bond with. So they will come. But after that, there will be somebody else who's going to come and meet you also. That is an expert spirit guide comes to meet you depending on your religious background. Let's say you're a Buddhist. Buddhist monk is going to come and help you. It's your spirit guide. If you're Christian, then your angel. Angel's going to come and help you and guide you. Yeah. So it depends on your spiritual background. Let's say, as you ascend, so this is what happens. I'm talking about what happens after you die. As you ascend, you will notice the scenery around you beginning to change. So a spirit guide has come to you and take you to different place. Okay, the scenery you will see may vary depending on your nationality or race. For example, Master actually gives an example because he gave this lecture to Japanese people. Japanese might see mountain scenery. probably because of the culture, background, Shintoism. Yeah. Um, 3/4 of the Japan island is actually all mountains, yeah, volcanic mountains. So maybe because of it. Then you will suddenly notice that your spirit guide is gone. So now you're on your own. So you came to the like a mountain, and then after walking quite a distance on your own, you will come to a river. Okay, a river. So what is this river? River, yeah, it's river Styx. So river Styx is usually this dark, dark river between this world and hell, right? River Styx is known here. But when he says river Styx, that the water you come to, the river that where you come to, is actually a regular river. It's the big river that you have to actually cross. What is this river? This river represents a border in your consciousness. It's in your consciousness, actually. And it's once you cross it, you can never return. So after you die, your silver cord is actually cut off, and then you're already dead, and then you don't know what to do. You're maybe there for a while, but your guide will come and take you to the place, and then you notice you come to the this side of the river, and so the river Styx, but not between this world and the hell. That kind of river. It's a regular river. You heard of the near-death kind of story, right? And some people actually say the same thing. This person who had a near-death experience, he said he was about to cross the river, but he heard somebody calling his name. So he looked back, and the next thing he knows is that he's back in his physical body, feeling great pain because he was in an accident or something like that. So once you cross, you cannot go back. But before you cross the river, maybe there is a chance you may go back, but very, very rare. But that's actually happened before, and people have the near-death experiences like that, right? So 80% of us will see this river when we die. I don't know after the 20% what they will see. Yeah, maybe they go 20% includes those one who went straight to hell, probably. That's part of 20% maybe. All right, so not everybody, but most people. And this is something you have seen before. It's actually part of a movie called The Laws of Eternity. And if you want to see the whole thing, it's on YouTube. You can actually Google it and you can find it. It's on YouTube, The Laws of Eternity. But I'll show you, it's only like 4 minutes long, what happens. And then some of you have seen it before, but this is the best way to explain how you cross the river and what happens afterward.
So is this the river Styx?
Oh, look!
Those were his attachments in life, the things he didn't want to let go. When you are crossing this river, you must leave behind all your mortal attachments.
What are those strings?
They are silver cords. They connect the physical body and the soul. Usually, approximately 24 hours after the heart stops, these cords are cut off. That's when humans really die.
It's so beautiful.
Wow. I wonder where it goes.
Those who've crossed the river Styx walked through this long path, through the flower bed, and finally reached this place.
Is this a movie theater? I wonder what it's showing.
It's showing a drama called life. His life from birth to death will be shown on this screen.
Who are they?
They're his deceased friends and relatives. Revealed on screen are not just what he did, but also what he thought of during his mortal life.
You mean even what he thought of?
Childhood, elementary school, middle school, high school, getting a job, getting married, changing jobs, divorce, bankruptcy.
You should have been more responsible.
Whatever he went through, and whatever thoughts he had on those occasions, they are all revealed here. After this, he understands and is willing to go to his destination.
Destination?
More than half of the people these days go to a place that is called hell.
More than half? Really?
A lot of people don't believe in the spirit world anymore. They think there's nothing after death and thus live freely. But what awaits them here is a harsh reality. Of course, some of them receive a hail of applause. These people are allowed to go to heaven according to the state of their minds.
Heaven? That sounds good.
Right. Thank you very much. So, what do you think? I'll explain a little bit of what was happening, but yeah, that's actually what most of us going to go through. Yeah. What is the thing that after people cross the river? What is that? You familiar with it? Are you familiar with it? You will see your life story, what happened. Yeah.
There's a movie about that.
Right. Depending, what's that?
Defending your life.
Defending your life. Yeah.
Down Street.
Yeah, that's right. No, it's a comedy. It's a funny comedy, right?
Same thing.
Right. It shows the story of your life, but it only takes a 20 minutes, half an hour. I don't know, the short time. It shows all your life story, including your thoughts, what you thought about, and everything is shown. And then you have people like your family members and relatives and close friends who's already dead will be there to watch your life story. Yeah. So you go across the river, you notice that it has a silver cord is still attached. So this must be happening within 24 hours, first 24 hours. And you get to the other side of the river, it's still attached, and then, but here, the cord is gone. So this must be happening like 24 hours after your heart stopped functioning. And then you start going on your journey actually to the theater. So, and you get to see your life story like that. And here, your friends and family who's already dead a long time ago, they'll come and see you.
Well, what about the guy who sank because of his attachments?
Sink?
Remember, it's like he's showing this guy, he's struggling to cross the river, so he sank, because of
through the attachment? Oh, because of the attachment, he's trying to fix that.
Like only a few of them get to this place.
No, I'm sure he'll eventually get to. He said he's about to drown, but I don't think he actually drowned. Yeah, eventually get there, and then after that, And guess where do you think he's going to go to? Now, this is like a judgment.
Right,
Yeah.
but it's like you already
Mhm.
drowned.
No, it's not drowned. He was he's like but he's still crossing the river. He will get to the other side. It looks like he's almost going to drown.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
even know why he's crossing because
Mhm.
I saw boats. Why didn't he just get on a boat?
Who gets to have a boat? Master actually explained in this lecture.
I mean, I take the boat.
Yeah, you love to. Yeah, me too. I love to.
Like,
Some
sail across
people,
the river.
some people can actually, just like Jesus, like go over the river, doesn't even touch the water, goes from the other side, like Jesus. So why is this happening to them and not to you or
They're
other
wealthy.
people? Wealthy? I don't think money talks in the spiritual world. It's just this world only. Anyone? What do you think?
So light.
Light.
No attachment.
No attachment. So light. Yeah. Those people who not the egotistical people who had a life of sort of like angel, always helping other people, giving a lots of love, or those people are, their soul is much, much lighter in a way that they don't have any like dirty things like no attachment. Yeah. So it really depends on your, after you die, you can't take your money or friends or house or nothing with you. The only thing you can take is inside you. What did you earn inside? What did you accumulate while you were here on earth? So your savings is actually how pure your heart is, how your heart is full of love. Those things are your savings, nothing else. That's the only thing you can take with you. That's the only thing that matters in the spiritual world. Most people don't know that. Okay? So we talked about understand the transition from life to afterlife. This is the key topic include, number one. And now we're going to move to explore the potential for reconnecting with departed family. Okay? So now we're going to move to that part. So explore the potential for reconnecting with departed family like that. So my question to you, is it possible? How do you reconnect?
Reconnect while you're spiritual or physical?
Well, you can say like can you reconnect with your grandma who's already died? Yeah, kind of thing. Yeah, the physical being and yeah. What do you think?
For reincarnation, not reincarnation.
Reincarnate, yeah, eventually reincarnate, right? Reincarnate and meet, right? You're right. Reincarnation. That's a good one. Yes, we do reincarnate. But before we reincarnate, do we get to see them?
Sure, the spirits recognize each other.
Spirits recognize each other, right?
And some are actually awaiting you to either welcome you or
that's right.
or solve unfinished business, perhaps. But the spirits will recognize
each other. Right. That's a really good point. It's a key. It's like both sides recognize each other, so you will be connected. Though one side is a physical being, the other side is a actually spiritual being in the spiritual world. But like I said at the very beginning, our true self is a spiritual being. So we have a spiritual self in ourselves. That's our true self. So when you feel or think of other person and the other person thinks about you, you can actually be reconnected, she's saying. Yeah, it's a good point.
How about a seance?
What's that?
Using a medium.
Medium?
A medium.
Oh, medium. Oh, yeah, sure. Yes,
Where
medium.
You, as not two spirits meeting, because you
put the spirit in one. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Medium. Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg in Ghost.
Yeah, in Ghost.
The ability to.
Right. Yeah. But you never know if most of them are actually fake. Huh? there are some real ones, but you have to be careful. Yeah. Some are fake, and those are possibilities. Yeah. What other way to reconnect? If you want to reconnect with your grandma, how do you do that? Yeah.
in a dream sometimes?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Excellent. In a dream. So there are some ways to actually reconnect with departed family. So that's what I'm going to talk about. Okay. Again, I just wanted to remind us we are live in a universe that has physical world and the spiritual world. So we are in the spiritual world. And what's the difference between those dimensions? How do you go up the dimension? The higher, the better the place is. The higher, the more enlightened. And how do you go up there? Go to the better dimension.
You have to raise your enlightenment level.
Okay, you have to raise your excuse me, enlightenment level. Yes. What is enlightenment level then?
Spiritual awakening.
Spiritual, you have to be aware of the spirit. Yes, spiritual awareness. That is the difference. So you're saying like a fourth dimension soul compared to fifth dimension soul, they're not that aware of the spiritual thing, but the fifth dimension souls know more about the spiritual thing. They're more aware. Yeah. And then they are more enlightened, like Rachel said, it has a higher enlightenment level. So enlightenment level is a spiritual awareness level. Also, what else?
Love.
Love, yeah. The quality and the quantity, both of love. The higher the dimension, the better quality love you give, or more quantity of love that you have given to other people. Yes, the souls have more filled with love, the higher dimension is. What else? Vibration. Yes, thank you, Aya. So it has a better vibration, pure vibration. So we're talking about the difference between the dimensions. Yeah, it's a vibration too. Has a better vibration. The vibration could be pure vibration. Probably has the love in it. Higher the dimension it is. Yeah, those are the difference. So there's another way to look at it. So how do we go up the ladder? It's the better vibration, more love, more enlightenment, and awareness of spiritual being. Yeah. So those are the difference between the dimensions, right? So like Aya said, it's the different vibration. Like a vibration is like you emanate your own vibration, frequency, actually wavelengths, we call that. So what is a wavelength? So the world we live in is a world of wavelengths. There are different wavelengths that are all over in this world. And I hope you're with me in this world of wavelengths all over here. And you emanating your own wavelengths, and I have my own wavelength. Some people are very reserved, quiet. Some people are very cheerful, positive, like you, Oscar. You guys are amazing. All have a very positive vibration. So it's a world of vibration wavelengths that we live in, and we're all emanating that. So that's the difference of the dimension too. So I'll always talk about the laws of the universe. There are laws that we have to abide by, that we cannot change. It's the laws of God. God created those laws. There are two famous laws of the universe. What are those most important laws of the universe? What's that, Rich?
Laws of causality and laws of singly.
Yes, those are the one I was going to ask. The laws of cause and effect. There's always cause behind the effect. Yeah, cause and effect. Cause and effect. It's like a chain. And there's another law called the law of the same wavelength attraction. So you have your own wavelengths. I have my own. You have your own frequency that you're always emanating. There is a law. The same wavelengths are always attracting each other. If it's the same wavelengths, that can connect each other. So that is the law that was. What's that?
The law of gravity.
Gravity. Yeah, the law of gravity is one of the laws of the universe. Right. That's a good one. Thank you, Oscar. Excellent. So the laws of the universe includes that wavelength attraction, and gravity is also one of them. Thank you very much. So I want to talk about the laws of the same wavelengths attraction, because here I'm talking about, can we reconnect with the departed soul? And it has something to do with that law. The same wavelengths of attraction and same wavelengths and vibration frequency will connect to each other. So if you want to connect to the soul in heaven, you have to have the same kind of vibration frequency and wave. Yeah. So you can't have an evil, like a mean thoughts and negative thoughts and trying to connect the soul in heaven. You will probably be connected to the one underneath, actually way down there. Yeah. Not in heaven if you have the negative thoughts. That is something you have to be very careful. But here's something that interesting that Harry actually mentioned it. When we're sleeping, we have a dream, right? Like I said, sometimes our soul is out of our body when we are sleeping and having a dream, and especially when you have a dream like you're flying in the sky like that. So, but as long as you have the silver cord attached, you can come back into your physical body. And Master said there's a safe way to have a spiritual experience. That is, as Haley said, dream. In your dream, you can actually connect with the deceased soul. So the key is that you have to keep the good vibration. Otherwise, you won't be able to connect to the one in heaven. And pray to your guardian spirit, your guardian angel, before you go into bed. So you pray before you go to bed. Make sure you reflect upon your thoughts and deeds, and your mind, your heart is clear. And you pray to your guardian spirit, like, I would like to see my deceased mother in my dream. And you pray and pray and pray, and sometimes they'll get to you. My mother died in April 2020 during the COVID. You remember the April 20, is just when the COVID just started, right? And of course, I couldn't go back to Japan. And so she died peacefully. Everything was okay. And I got to watch her funeral through the, today we have like a Zoom kind of thing, video. So I got to see everything. Anyway, maybe 2 months later, for like over 2 weeks, I was having a dream of my mother almost every single night. Yeah. So I knew she and I were in the dream meeting. Yeah. But it wasn't anything special. It's not like she gave me a special message or anything like that. I was just living in the old house where I grew up, and she was there. And I was, it's like good old days, like I was with my mom. So Master said this is actually the safest way to have a spiritual experience. So you can actually connect. Good job. Excellent. Yeah, she mentioned that. All right. And there's another thing I want to talk about. There's a book called, in Japanese, it's called The Heart of Ancestor Memorial Service. So in this book, page 44, it said, even in this world, if it's with someone you love, feelings can be understood. Of course it is. If you love your child, of course, so like you can understand your child better than anyone else. Similarly, in the spirit world, such communication is key. So even in the afterlife, intentions of kindness and remembrance are understood, reflecting compassion and respect for the departed. Therefore, simply harboring the intention to pay respect can resonate. And if one actually performs a memorial service, the connection deepens even further. So he's saying that when you have thought, when you think about, let's say I think about my mother who's already passed away, and I have a strong feeling toward my mom. I have a message, Mom, I'm going to tell you this. And you can actually get connected, even the person is already in the spiritual world. He's saying that. So simply hugging or having some kind of a thought or respect can resonate, especially among, let's say, family members, because you love each other. You care about each other. So you have a vibration that connects each other. That's what it's saying. So when you have feeling about somebody who's in heaven, you send that feeling, and you can actually be connected. We live in a spiritual world as well. Okay? And let's see. So when you send your thoughts to your loved one, you will be definitely connected. Yeah. So whether you get the response from that spirit or not, you can get connected. And so what's important is there's another book. This is Japanese. This one is called, I'm going to talk about redirecting the luminous power. Okay. You can actually send or light to the deceased soul from here, is what it means. So this book is called A Lecture on the Sutra for Ancestor Memorial Service. So page 14, Master said, by accumulating virtue, the descendants can redirect the luminous power of that merit, and they can save their ancestors. So if you accumulate enough virtue, meaning you can emanate lots of light from yourself, you have lots of virtue, you accumulated that, you can send that light to your deceased family member or deceased your close friends and so. So in that way, you can actually save your ancestors or your family members. You can send the light to them. So what does by accumulate virtue mean? Here's a question. What do you think?
Good thoughts and actions.
Good thoughts and connections.
And actually, in Judaism, all good thoughts, intentions, and actions have the merit of helping the soul of the departed, ascend.
Ascend? Okay.
That's the exact expression. It helps
it's the same.
the departed ascend in the spirit world.
Sure. We have the same thoughts too in at the Happy Science and Buddhism as well. So I wanted to go a little deeper in that. So thank you for that. That's really good. Accumulative virtue, in other way to explain it, to live in accordance with God's will. So you should have a mind that will align with those of God. That is the accumulative virtue. So what else can you do that accumulative virtue? Let's just take about maybe 3 minutes to, have discussion. And how do you live in accordance with God's mind? How do you align your thoughts with those of God? But in fact, what I'm asking you, how do you accumulate virtue? If that was difficult, then I would put in the other way like that. So let's have maybe three of you, or as a small discussion group now. All right, can you try to wrap it up? Thank you. So let's move on. Thank you. Well, I know this group had lots of things to discuss. Did you want to say something that you talked about?
Talk about mediums.
Oh, medium. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
so much about virtue, but she actually went to medium. She was actually able to
connect. Oh, okay. Oh, the medium who actually.
Very genuine and gifted.
Oh,
and,
good.
And that's one of the things.
Who you connected to your family member or?
Family members, pets, also.
Oh, I would like to connect to my pet Cha-Cha. Yeah.
All down to the details of the color of the pet in this particular instance, the particular characteristics or behaviors that are typical to different pets, same as for people.
Right.
Occasions, specific occasions, and so on and so forth.
Oh, okay.
Names.
Interesting.
Even names.
Wow. That is
very,
interesting.
Very gifted and genuine. So, as I'm saying, it's a very comforting and reassuring experience because when you experience this, you know that it's not I think or I believe there is an afterlife. It becomes a real knowledge that there is an afterlife,
right.
and it's active and interactive with us.
Sure. Yeah.
It's in the Trader Joe's Plaza too.
Is it a Trader Joe's Plaza? My goodness.
Oh,
Used to be.
It took place at the Harmony Studio by Trader Joe's on Algonquin.
Oh, Algonquin. Oh, that one. Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he had
That,
circle,
okay,
yeah,
sure.
leadership circle. But
Oh,
he does private sittings,
uh-huh.
and
I see.
now he moved to North Carolina, so he does it on Zoom.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's just as effective because, as he says correctly, for spirit, space and time is not limiting.
Yeah, that's right. So, oh, thank you for sharing that. Interesting.
It's
So
a very profound experience, and if anyone would like the information,
Sure, interesting. Wow.
and I would not. I've been around hypnotherapists and spiritual people, and to the point where after more interaction, you can decipher who's a genuine one and who is a charlatan or a wannabe.
Okay,
So
sure.
I would not have mentioned this nor recommend, which I highly do, unless I know for
sure.
that he's genuinely here.
That's right. Yeah, well, thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Really appreciate it. All right. Well, we get the information later. Yeah? All right, so let me move on. So redirecting the luminous power is what we're talking about. Yeah, so if you ever accumulated enough virtue, you can actually send. That's the best way to help your deceased loved ones, actually. But you have to be able to emanate light. You have to accumulate virtue, actually. So doing the good deeds, like Hallie said, have a good thought and good deeds. So your family and close friends are actually your soulmates, not just your spouse, that, or your boyfriend and girlfriend. Usually when you say soulmates, like your girlfriend, boyfriend kind of thing. But it's actually the whole family, close friends. It's a part of the branch, have some leaves. It's like a group of soul that you have. You always come down and, have very, very strong, special, strong spiritual bond. So those are your soulmates. So you can always be connected with them. You will definitely be with them again. Why? Because we talked a little bit about the reincarnation here, but we reincarnate together again and again. Yeah, that's soulmates. You're destined to be with them again. With such a strong spiritual bond, you cannot even get away from it. You want to get away from it? You can't. You can't even get away from it. You have to be. You can't get away from your sister. You talk about sister all the time.
And Mama, the ledger.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I'm in there too.
But in actuality, the roles or the relationships might be completely different.
Right, change. But you're still around. Yeah, you have some kind of a spiritual bond, so you will be somewhere. Exactly. Thank you, Hallie. So you cross the river like this, and guess what? When you cross the river, who are you gonna see? Your family members. This is close friends. Your soulmates are there anyway. You will definitely. This is after you leave the physical world, but see, we're talking about the reconnecting while we are still here. But at this point, you will definitely see them again. That's for sure. So we talked about the transition from life to the afterlife, and then also reconnecting departed family. Then lastly, this is what I want to talk about. Reflect on how grief impacts the journey of the deceased soul. Again, this lecture workshop was requested by a student who cannot forget about her dad. Her dad died 10 years ago. She's still grieving today over her dad. So, how does grief impact the journey of the deceased soul? So here I have the picture of stream. Stream is actually flows from one side to the other. That's like from mountain to all the way to the maybe ocean, that way, right? From high place to the lower place. It's always one way. Can it go backwards? Maybe not. How about this? I have a picture of, all right. So the baby becomes an infant to toddler to young man to man, and then the old man. Anyway, so can this actually go backwards? Can I be younger tomorrow? than today? And, we can, like, am I younger? So can I be, in a week, can I be even younger than I am today? Not quite. It does. I haven't seen that kind of thing happening. It's because it's the laws of nature. It's the rules of nature. It's just the rules that God created. So one of the laws of the universe that God created. We have no way to change it. It's that we simply have to abide by it. We have to just go with it. There's no way I can be younger next day. So we are on an eternal journey that is from past to present to future, right? So we cannot change that order, actually. That's the laws of nature. So what I'm talking about here, what makes earthbound spirits earthbound straight spirits? So keeping that in mind, I want to talk about what makes earthbound spirits earthbound stray spirits. Why are they stuck here? Why? Yes, thank you. Why can't they leave? Because they have a strong attachment to their, sometimes even family members. They can't leave here because of attachment. They have like a strong feeling towards something. Could be house, building, money, friends, and so on, or your child. So you cross the river and you go on a journey to the spiritual world, and it's like you can't come back. Once you cross river, that's it. You are in the other world. You can't come back to this world. I talked about that. What happens if one grieves over death constantly like this? What do you think?
It's not. It's considered not good for the soul.
The soul, yeah.
The soul wants us to be happy.
Right.
And go on with our journey.
That's right. Go on our journey, and when you are grieving so much, like you're calling your father is like a dad, come back, kind of calling, right? So this is what's happening exactly. You're pulling the soul. Okay. So we talked about the attachment from the spirit side. If spirit has too much attachment, they can't leave here. But what about us? If you're too much attachment to the deceased soul, you also have attachment and pulling the soul into this world. And guess what? The soul gets stuck here because you're constantly calling and pulling. Yeah, it's like, don't go, don't go. It's like too much feeling toward that soul. So, like you said, we have a journey and we have life goes on. We must move on. Yeah, that's the key. Whether both sides need to get rid of attachment from, the deceased soul cannot have any strong attachment because we will not be able to leave here because of the attachment. And on the other hand, we should not have too much attachment for the deceased soul because we pulling that soul here. And that soul is going to end up becoming earthbound spirit or lost spirit, stray spirit. What we must do is to focus on accumulate virtue. We need to accumulate a virtue, have the good life, good heart, good mind, and we can actually send the light to the deceased family member. When you do that, you have the power to send your light to your family member who's already deceased. So this will help. This helps the deceased to go to heaven. And also it helps us go to heaven when our time comes. Yeah. So Hallie said that. Does that make sense to you? Yeah. All right. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I have a comment.
Yeah.
I think that part of our nature, we always think of, especially though really close.
Right. You have the feeling.
I think one point I can see that instead of like calling them, like trying to
right.
We just show the gratitude.
Right.
We always think of them, think a good thing, or thank you that, thank you mom for doing this.
That's right.
I think it's different time, you know. Like doing
That's right.
So we still think of them, but think with that gratitude.
Gratitude.
Of we will want them.
Yeah.
We miss you. You know,
Right.
we want you feeling, and that makes them really hard to go on with them.
Yeah.
Go on with the journey.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. The showing gratitude is the best thing you can do for your deceased family member. Yeah, you want to say?
And recalling happy times.
That's right. Think about the happy times you shared. That's right. Yeah, you now have a good memory with that deceased family member. So just recall that good time, happy time. Exactly. Gratitude, a good memory. That's right. Those are the good things. So, like I said, this lecture was a request by a student, a girl, who goes to Cal State Long Beach. Actually, she cannot forget about her dad. Over 10 years. She said it's been 10 years. Yeah. So can you kind of guess what's going on? Where's her dad? She still have a strong feeling for her dad. You know? Probably dad's, I'm not sure what her dad is. I don't know who he is, what he's done and everything, but hopefully he is in heaven. But even if he's in heaven, if she keeps on sending them, feelings towards him, he will come back here constantly. It's like, he's like a pulling him too. Yeah. And most likely he's constantly with her. Yeah. That's the
I don't
case.
remember one point. I remember you told me that. Don't be self-centered.
Don't be self-centered. Yeah.
Kind of, wow. Like, okay, I kind of just keep my mind on my father.
Yeah.
But I got to spread my love and do something for
other people. That's right. So T, your father passed away like how many years ago?
Yeah, it's
2019.
Before COVID.
Before COVID, okay. And I remember he had a hard time. It's natural.
I didn't want to go to workshop.
Yeah, you didn't want to come to a meeting or anything. Like I didn't see him for a long time actually. Yeah, it's a natural. Yeah. But then I guess I told him like, don't be so selfish and thinking about self-centered. That all you can think about, like you said, I can't forget about my dad. I can't do anything. Yeah, I remember that. So don't. Yeah, it's you need to move on. Is what I was trying to tell you. Yeah, did you want to say something?
Yeah, in accordance to what you just said, the soul also. The souls are busy.
Busy, right?
Their domain. They have to do things.
The souls are busy.
Process things to replay and learn the lessons and just clarify things that have taken place in their lifetime here. So if they're not left free to attend to their business there, it's like preventing them from doing what they should be
That's
doing
right.
in the afterlife.
We're preventing, whatever they're doing. Yeah, that's right. Good point. Yeah. So, right. So life goes on. We must move on. So don't have too much attachment afterwards. Yeah. What do you think, Oscar? Yeah. Yeah. You think you feel the same way? Yeah. Good. Yeah. Don't go ahead.
I can remember from my own father's passing, that 24-hour period seemed so critical in not only we were waiting for one other brother to make it from out of town, but the hospital staff kept coming in the room wanting to take Papa away out of the bed. And I was still in the room talking on the phone for friends, and out the window I was looking because it was hard to look at him, but I felt him there. And every time the staff would come in, they go, because they see me, and then they leave. It happened 5 times. The staff, finally I had to tell them, my brother's not in yet, and then when he shows up, you can take Dad away. But without the brother excuse, they wanted to.
I see.
They're used to get rid of the dead.
Right. Like an everyday thing to them, right?
Yeah. So I think now that explains.
They want the bed.
They do.
Yeah, they do.
That's true. They want the bed. You're right. It's a business, and they have to get me out of the room too, and I wasn't ready to leave. with
Yeah.
the room.
That's
And
right.
I felt he's still here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good to know.
The precious moment. Yeah.
I wasn't the best. I needed to
Yeah.
release.
All right. So this is, I believe, yeah. I just want to review today's review. So we talked about what happens after somebody dies, the transition we talked about. We actually come to the river Styx, and we get to see the life story of your own. And then they will tell you where you're going to end up going. But before that, you'll be taken to that place by spirit guide. And the potential for reconnecting with departed family, yes, you can do that in your dream, and also sending the luminous power if you accumulate enough virtue on your own. How grief impacts the journey of the deceased soul, too much attachment, well, it's not good either way, from that spirit side or from our side. Yeah. So life must go on. We need to go on our own journey, right? Any questions? Or if not, then I'll move to the meditation today, right? Today's meditation is actually what T said, the meditation of sending gratitude to the deceased. Keep your back straight. Let's begin abdominal breathing. Inhale slowly through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale again. Exhale. Allow your breath to become slow, deep, and natural. As you breathe, let go of any tension or stress you may be holding on to. Please continue at your own pace. Now, please visualize your loved one in your mind's eye. Imagine them surrounded by love and light. Take a moment to connect with their presence, feeling their love and support surrounding you. Think about specific memories you have with your loved one that will fill you with gratitude. Recall moments of love, kindness, and joy that you shared together. Allow yourself to fully immerse in these moments. With each breath, send feelings of gratitude and appreciation to your loved one. You can silently say words of thanks, such as, "Thank you for the love you gave me," or "I'm grateful for the time we spent together." As you continue to express gratitude, know that they're always with you in spirit, guiding or supporting you from the other side. When you feel ready, slowly bring your awareness back to the present moment. Open your eyes. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for your participation, and then I'll see you next time. And next time is actually, this is usually a third Saturday of the month. So next one is, I believe, did I put that one? Here it is. You both are in it, in the picture. Next workshop is Saturday, April 20th. All right. Good to see you.